Hi, this is Alex with TechRaptor.net, and today we're joined by Paul from Mode7, and we're just going to ask you a couple of questions about the company and the upcoming Frozen Synapse 2. So first off, could you just give a basic outline of the history of the company and Frozen Synapse?
Sure, we were going for about 10 years, and we started with a sort of not very successful, slightly bizarre flying sword fighting game, and that was something that kind of got us a bit of contract work. We were able to do that, which funded the development of Frozen Synapse, came out in 2011 and did quite well. After that we did Frozen Cortex, which was a sort of a twist on that formula, so a sort of futuristic sports game with a kind of strategy element behind it. And now we're working on Frozen Synapse 2. So we've always been interested in these kind of quite deep turn-based strategy games, and that's been sort of the thing that's worked for us. And we've also just moved into publishing as well. So yeah, there's a lot going on.
Okay, now I've never actually played Frozen Synapse before. When I tried out the demo of Frozen Synapse 2, I really liked it. I'd always had sort of Frozen Synapse 1 as a game that I'd get round to eventually, and when I got to play Frozen Synapse 2, I went home yesterday and bought the first one. So yeah, it's really good, and I just wanted to ask, what are some of the inspirations behind the sort of formula for Frozen Synapse?
So the primary inspiration was a game called Laser Squad Nemesis, which was made by Julian Gollop, who also worked on the XCOM series, and that's a turn-based strategy game where you have quite long setup periods to get into a fight, but when you do, it's kind of this quite tense thing based on cover. So Frozen Synapse 1, the main idea there was to really whittle that setup phase down and kind of put you straight into the situation, and just sort of put you in a random situation. Also have these really clear unit archetypes, so shotgunners are fast, good at close range, snipers are slow, good at long range, that kind of thing. Really obvious to people. The other inspiration was actually Counter-Strike, so the idea that if you know your opponent's going to come around a corner, you can just kill them. So it's very sort of kind of deterministic and specific. You don't have like health bars that get whittled down. It's about really making a very strong decision and then sticking to it. So that was kind of the basis. Also, around that time, 2011, we were starting to get into random generation and stuff like that, and that's something that a lot of indie games have incorporated now, but it was a little bit newer back then. And Frozen Synapse 2 is really taking that and massively expanding on it with this big kind of grand strategy meta game.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so what was the decision with Frozen Synapse 2 to go back to sort of traditional formula after Frozen Cortex, for example, where you sort of branched into making it sort of more sports-like and stuff like that? What was the decision to go back to the basics with Frozen Synapse 2?
Well, a lot of it came from Ian Hardingham. He's the lead designer and programmer. He had the concept of this procedurally generated city, and we wanted to do a combat game in the city, kind of moving around, you know, infiltrating buildings, and we thought, you know, we could come up with entirely new stealth mechanics and everything and completely change what we were doing and make a new game. And then we thought, well, there's a lot of scope in Frozen Synapse, because in Frozen Cortex we found out that you could have quite a lot of variation in the units. You could have different stats, different types of unit. We thought, well, we can bring that to FS1, add all this new stuff. We've got smoke grenades, we've got flamethrowers, mine layers, melee units, like a huge different load of things. We can add that in, and also on top of that, there's scope to do this amazing procedurally generated city that nobody's ever done before.
All right, fantastic. And oh well, my last question was going to be what exactly you changed from Frozen Synapse 2 to Frozen Synapse 1, but it seems like you've covered a lot of it. Is there anything else that you haven't mentioned? So
we're going to have some completely new multiplayer paradigms as well, some different modes that you've never seen before. In the city there are factions which are AI controlled, and you'll have a lot of interaction with them. We've got quite a complex dialogue system where they can have different moods and respond to what you're doing. So there's a huge amount of scope in the game sort of within that cityscape. That's all new stuff, some innovative things that people haven't really done before, and some kind of familiar things from other grand strategy games. We're kind of going for like a cyberpunk Crusader Kings 2 would be our most ambitious thing possible. So we really hope people like that idea and they kind of get behind the game.
Okay, yes, that's about it. So thanks for joining us, Paul.
Thanks very much.
And thanks for watching.